Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle, Reiki, spiritual healer. And now we understand how these types of black magic and different kinds of voodoo and different kinds of Santeria is sent out over our lives. It has been sent out for generations. It has been incorporated into society, into our lives, in order to keep us in a state of loss, of lack. All of the chosen ones will be in lack because of this type of black magic, this negative entity that has been dispatched to all of the chosen ones, so that we will give over our resources, that we will give over everything that God has blessed us with freely to the entity. This oppressive spirit has been used in our homes, in our lives, in our schools, in society against only the chosen ones. Those who are in alignment with the entity, who have set out in order to attack you, in order to bring you into this low vibrational state and keep you there, they are the ones who have been hired by the entity in your family, in your lives. So I have to tell you a story, and I wanted to make sure that you understand that I loved all of my husbands. But my first husband was the most malevolent husband that I had. And so therefore, I have to give you these examples, because this person can be a husband or a wife, a mother or a father, or uncle or aunt, and even sometimes children or siblings. So we have to make sure that we have these examples, and we understand that the holy books are a warning in order to see these people for who they are, in order to understand the malevolent nature that they were inserted into your life. But many times when they have sold their souls, and made a contract, a bargain with the entity, they cannot turn back from it. They have to carry out this entity, even though they may find themselves that, this is the only person that has ever really cared about me. This is the only person that really knows me and want the best for me. So when we have these types of situations, like my first husband and I don't think that he ever understood what love was, or how to take care of someone. He learned that during our relationship, and by then it was too late. He had been inserted into my life in order to, bring me into a low vibrational state, in order to control me. So, when that wasn't going to happen, and he saw that I wasn't going to let that happen, I remember that, his friends that were, on the block, they used to call him Hitman. And that was his nickname. And so when I understood that, from the situation where all of his friends and all of those addicts had surrounded my father in order to harm my father, I understood that he had been inserted in my life in order to, keep me in a low vibrational state with him. And so on that particular day, the people who were surrounding my father, I could see him as I stepped back away from my father, and I left my father in the center of this crowd. I could see him shaking his head at the head person who was, the ringleader of trying to attack my father. I could see him shaking his head as if to tell him, don't do it. Don't do it, because it's going to bring the heat. So these are the types of understandings that we will see, that when a person is unable to carry out their mission for the entity because of one reason or another, that they finally found someone that is genuine for them, or they cannot carry out the attack because, of their personal feelings for this person, that this person is not what, they say that you are. This person is a good person. And, and again, I truly believe, and this is why I give you these understanding, that my first husband fell in love with me because he was additionally inserted in order to bring me into a low vibrational state, a lack state of mind, and all other kinds of low, sexual states of being. So we have to understand that when we're looking at people's past lives and how they have used black magic and how they have manipulated other people in their lives, that everyone around them is in a lack mentality except for this person, then that is the person that you are also identifying as the warlock, as the witch, as the person that has been inserted in your life in order to harm you or unalive you. So this is why we have to forgive those people, because they know not what they were doing. They know not what they do. So we have an understanding that, these types of identifiers, that they have been sent because they are lacking the information. They didn't need information. All they needed to know is that energy signature, this is what they wanted. This is how they're going to go about taking it and bringing this person down, because it's more malevolent of us. It's more of us than it is the chosen one. But what they had no idea is that, God will make a way out for the chosen one. God will give the resources that the chosen one need in order to break these spells. And so, this is why we do not accept anything from these types of persons, any kind of material items that they are trying to bring you into a contract with them. You do not go back to these persons once you have left these persons, whether it is your mother or your father, whether it is your husband or your wife. You do not go back to these malevolent persons, because 9 times out of 10 they have not changed. So again, chosen ones will have problems when they go back into situations. I've always had problems when I revisited my ex-husband, in the past, and then tried to move forward in life. No, they were trying to reconnect that negative energy, recondition that black magic over my life that they were sending out as a warlock at that time, with those people who understood that this person was a warlock. Most of the people were under a spell that, they were warlocks and witches. Most of the people that he was hanging around. So once you understand this, you're not allowed to go backwards, unless God sends you in that way to teach these people a lesson. So there have been times, most of the times, again, that I have been sent to these people's lives, it has been to teach them a lesson, even in my own family, and to break that negative energy over the family, over the lives of certain ones of us whom they were oppressing and keeping sick in a sickly manner, in order to siphon the energy, the financial and the health energy off of this person. So when we break those cords, you will find that, they will start, falling down. Their health, their finances will start to fall down like dominoes. And now that we're able to see this type of negative energy being sent out and also being able to be broken over our lives. But we first have to recognize it. We first have to identify it. We first have to make sure that we're cleansing that negative energy, so that these people are not allowed to prosper off of our blessings that God has given us. So, I have been able to block my energy from these types of people. Once I see that, this is something that's designed against me, then I'm able to block my energy. I'm also able to cloak my energy so that I can look like a zombie, but I'm not a zombie. I can look like I'm under the spell, but I'm not under the spell. I'm getting, the hell away from these people. God is making my way, out of this position, and I had to work easy until I got my head out of the lion's mouth. So when we are in these types of situations in our lives, we have to be able to tell the people the truth. We have to be able to understand how we're going to break this negative energy. Do not accept anything from these types of people who are trying to reinfect you with a new spell over your life, a reconditioned spell over your life. There are many different ways that they will try to reinfect you. That's why it's best to move away from these people, not to go back into those relationships with family where they want to enslave you, not to go back into the family, so you have to take care of your mother or your father or family members who have become sick, who just want you to stay up under them and be enslaved to them. They don't want to pay you, but they will pay someone else. We have to see these red flags where they will give you, large things, houses, cars. And you will have to understand that receiving these free things from these people enters you into a malevolent contract, so they can keep sending the black magic, so they can have something to hold over you, so that they can keep siphoning your energy, your willpower, so that you are never able to move out from under these types of spells. This happens when you do not tell them the truth. When you are grown, when you are a grown person, you have your own family, and you allow your parents or family members in order to belittle and attack, abuse your children, abuse your wife, abuse your husband, and you do not intervene. When you do not tell them that the things that they have done in the past, it becomes a spell and black matter in your future, a stumbling block and a hindrance. So I hope that you have received this message, how we remove these types of spells, how we break these types of spells, and how we understand that they are there in our lives. So please, if you have received this message, please reach out to me and book your one-on-one sessions with me, your life coaching sessions, or your video chat sessions. You can also book a consultation so that we can discuss, whether you're male or female, we can discuss what's been going on in your life, and I can acclimate a gift to your situation. Please book your donations with me, or you can reach out to me and leave a comment for me. I'm High Oracle, Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.